So we all have a dream and we always want to get to that dream so bad. The only challenge that we have is we don't even know how to get there. We don't know what to do and how to do it. And that's the only way to get to our dream, is actually to know about it. And we are here today interviewing the #1 and the world champion, Phil Migliarese. He's here actually in his office. I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to be with him in war room. You know, being with the leaders in war room, it means a lot, and that's what make you also doing a lot better than what you do. And actually, I met this person one time, and a lot of my life has been changed. I changed my perspective about money, about business, and about what it takes me to be a leader. Because most of us, when we feel comfortable, we stop doing it. And this leader, he never stopped. He doing it every single day, and he inspired me, inspired a lot of people that I know. And I'm willing today to transfer in God's name all the knowledge that he provide me with. I will love him to provide it to you, so you will change your life. You know how to do it, and you know how to reach your goal. So thank you so much, Mr. Phil, for having us here today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. We actually here in a program called How You Got Here. So we believe in a win-win strategy, and we always believe that lacking of knowledge could stop a lot of the transformation you're trying to have in your life. For this purpose, we came to the best who knows about success and who got there. And I would love you to introduce yourself to the world, to tell us who is Phil today.
My name's Phil Migliarese. I am was born into a fighting family, an entrepreneurial family. Started Jujutsu when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and competed. Did pretty well in competition. About 20 years ago, I opened my studios called Balance Studios. And we scaled from 1 to 50 units around the United States, even globally. The tricks that I learned in marketing, I extended to another company called Rise in Metrics. So I opened up another company based off the stuff that I was doing with the gyms. And most recently, we work with some brands in the canned beverage world. And I had the guts enough to do my own tea to serve the jiu-jitsu community and, entrepreneurial community, because matcha is good for you.
So what's matcha? I mean, why choose matcha? I mean,
matcha goes back 5,000 years. Samurais were using.
That's great, actually.
Thank you. Samurais were using matcha for two things: for preparation for war and meditation. So it's two things. So it's energy and focus, which are two of our biggest elements. The other element, if you live a jiu-jitsu lifestyle, you want to live a healthy lifestyle. So there's no chemicals added. It's matcha and lychee fruit generally, with a little bit of electrolytes and vitamins, all the stuff that you was eating. So it's a good beverage.
That's great. That's great. So I know this journey is not easy. And you just say 20 years you've been, and you was in a family that's always trying to teach you what to do and how to do it.
Right.
So in this journey, there is actually difficulties or maybe challenges that you have faced. What is the most difficult challenge that you face in your journey?
Well, something early that I learned, this comes from my dad, right? He said, money only solves money problems, nothing else. So if you have some character flaw or something else going on, or a relationship issue, something like that, money can't buy that stuff. So money only solves money problems. So when you start there, you have work to do in different areas. It's not only about money, and, success is not only money, So that was a big thing, because, in the American culture, if you look online, you think that money is everything, which it's not. I know plenty of people with, way more money and time with way more problems as well. So, you have to weigh that. So I knew going through this journey that, if you want to accomplish something that makes more money and more success, or whatever it may be for you, that you need to be specific. you know, and so I know that a relationship with a friend is not like, hey, here's $50, be my friend.
Right.
It doesn't work like that, you know. So I know there not to do that. So that's something I don't have to do and waste time. And does it make sense?
Of course.
Yeah. So there was no hurdle to get over.
Okay.
There was no, you know, I never had a rough time there. And I just know that, you know, building a business with a product or service that works for everyone, your win situation, your triple win, your quadruple win situation, that's a huge thing. So something that works for a market, and at the same time, you're compensated for your time, effort, and ideas. So the biggest hurdle is knowing, I think, in the beginning that money only solves money problems. You have to pay rent. You know, being the nicest person in the world doesn't help you
At all.
Money helps that problem because you have to pay your rent. So I was able to divide, you know, the mission. So
Wow, that's awesome, because I think it's really important to know that, because people think that it's really, I mean, me personally right now, when you said it, I'm just thinking how much people already involved of just believing money is everything.
Yeah.
And like for a relationship right now, when you said it, I'm like, that makes so much sense. You can't, if you're so like so rich, and you are like, I mean, I'm sorry, but you like you don't even know how to communicate with your wife or with your partner. You will not.
what is success? That's the question. What is success?
Right.
While I was down in Miami, my friend has a really nice car, very low to the ground, Lamborghini. Like I think I saw 100 of them. That cost a lot of money, but it delivers a whole different set of problems. For example, he was telling me a story that he couldn't drive his Lamborghini home because it was raining and the water was up like that, and they just don't function in that sort of environment.
Right.
So it's funny, something that is luxurious is not prepared for, you know, just some crazy rain. So it's interesting to me, you know, like what we definitely need and what we don't need, you know, what we need to survive, you know, and that's also important to success too. It's like knowing like what you need every month, you know, it'll cost this much money, because the more money you make, and if you're like still like you need the same stuff, you can save, invest, and do all that other stuff, and just kind of, you know, be as close to the person you were, let's say for me 20 years ago as I am today, which I'm pretty much the same. I still do jujitsu every day.
Still a nice person, you're still kind and try.
Yeah, I try.
So I really appreciate that. After the difficulty that you have faced, you said there is no difficulty. We were talking about your dad advice when he said money doesn't fix a problem. And I was saying how people today, they all having like this challenge and this belief, because they also think they need money to make a dream, or to make a life, or to be successful. So 90% of people today, they have a really misunderstanding of the powerful information that your dad teach you.
Yeah.
So right now, when people trying to go to the journey, trying to be successful or to do better, as you say, money is not the only success that you can mention in life. There is so many things. And I'm really here because, not just because the millions, I'm here because I know that you are a great dad, you are a great teacher, you are a great leader, and you're doing great in entrepreneurship. And that's something I believe called success, because you did it. So today, the guy who trying to be there, he trying to do like Phil, or do better than Phil, or he want to do better than himself today. What the best advice from you today that's to allow him to start today and now? How will look?
Well, the realization, money only solves money problems.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, many of us search for the thing that we want to do or want to be around. I got super, super lucky, man. I did it at an early age, saw jujitsu and like, yep, that's it.
Okay.
But some of us go through our whole lives and, you know, we're 40, I'm 47 now. Like at 47, then I find the thing, you know? And part of that I am just finding because of technology. So the technology wasn't there when I was a kid. When I had a choice in college, there was no digital marketing. So I figured things out on my own generally, you know? But now there are many wonderful schools you can go to, get your degree, and then experiment. So just finding what that thing is, you know?
Right.
And my recommendation is to be laser focused. on what you're doing. And I have been for the last, many, many years focused on what I was doing. I've always done multiple things, but I do multiple things because like part of my strength, I'm resourceful and I like the startup process, right? So, I get it kind of ramped up and exciting. And then after that, we have to hire the most amazing team, to keep fulfilling the day-to-day stuff. Right. So that's not something I can do on my own, but I recognize that. The other thing for success is what I think. You have to be true to yourself and identify your major strengths. I know what I'm strong at. I know what I enjoy doing, and I know my weaknesses too. So that, I hire for my weaknesses,
Right.
So
do you work on those, or you just understand them?
I try to have a base understanding of whatever it is, because now with what we do, let's say digital marketing, you have to have an expert in Google's pay-per-click. You have to have an expert in SEO so I can't be an expert in everything, but I can have a general understanding of what we need and hire the experts.
Right.
So to constantly improve my skills is slightly unrealistic for a couple different reasons. One, everything's evolving anyway. So what I do, I defer to, our team, say, hey, what's going on? And then I can learn quickly.
For sure.
So like I said, one of my other gifts, I can hear it, absorb it fast, and then when it's no longer needed, I can get rid of it. Does that make sense? Especially with technology, right? So I think that's important too. But really to know your strengths and weaknesses is a big deal. And that's a really good question. If you know you're weak in one area, do you go all in and make yourself stronger there? My belief is that you get weaker in your strengths because you're not paying attention to your superpower. So I don't know. So me personally, I like to stick where I am good in, company sort of setup or, even home setup,
Right.
So I know where I'm good and I know where I need to fill in the blanks here.
That's awesome. That's a great advice.
And there's the win-win, because everybody wins, because, I admit I'm weak there, but I understand it. And I need superhumans to fulfill this piece.
That's right. Because I think also as the ideas that you bring into the life, it's not easy for any team to do the job that you want them to do, because I think also to be in consistent success, it takes also a hard team, right?
Yeah. And I'm usually, anybody that's around me, I'm usually their fan.
Oh,
so I'm cheering them on. I like what they do. So I get excited, so it excites awesome. the whole team,
Right. That's great. So if there is a map, let's say, or if you want to tell somebody could they expect in this trip to be where they want to be? I mean, one time I can say, I myself, I say, you have to have the will, which is first after the goal and knowing what you want, exactly what you should say. You need the will to do it, desire, consistency, and discipline. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
But I know there is a recipe that you have, or maybe advice that can make it easier.
It's hard because, all right, so what do you do once you get there, that goal? And then you did the big thing. Then what do you do with?
I think I learned it from you is you're not gonna get there. I learned it from you is it's not the process is more important than the game.
Yeah,
than the goal.
So if you don't really enjoy what you do, you have to enjoy ups and downs.
Right.
Everything has ups and downs. Some, especially entrepreneurial spirit, which I don't think I'm that, because everything I've ever gone into is almost a guarantee. Many of my friends in the entrepreneurial world, they're in these other spaces which are very risky and very
stuff.
I'm like, man, I assess that risk. I'm like, that's going to be a lot. I'm also half decent at passing on things and saying no, which was one of my biggest problems, because I would say yes to everything all the time and then you do nothing,
Right.
So I had to say no to particular projects, or I would try to help my friends, of course.
For sure.
Pass them along, link them up with other people, but learning how to say no to things that are not on that path.
That's awesome.
And then, stay aware of what the path kind of offers and is telling you. you know, because you may think you're going to go this way and accomplish that, but little zigs and zags will change your world. So
And you think
you have to be able to adapt.
okay, that's be flexible.
Be flexible and adapt. That's one good thing about jiu-jitsu. I spent my whole life doing jiu-jitsu. There's no certainty on the mat. You get on the mat with someone, you don't know what's going to happen, right? So you have to be flexible with the way you move, be nimble, you know, be resourceful with your energy, which is like be resourceful with money, you know?
Right.
So, like I said, that's probably the only superpower I have is resourcefulness. Like, you know, if we have this resource, I want to, you know, use it correctly.
That's great.
Whether that's time, that's social currency, friends, connections, whatever it may be, money.
What you value the most in this time after all that you have done?
My whole life, I've valued free time over everything.
Wow.
Nothing.
So your time.
Or doing what I want. Yeah, that's my time currency. Forget about money, you know, being able to do what you want. So you can do what you want with just a base level of income that you've developed for yourself.
For
you know?
sure.
So I'm telling you, I've been around, I've seen a lot, and I know like a Lamborghini doesn't make you happy. If you're a Lamborghini fan and it's something you have to have and you know every little detail about it and it's not about showing it off, buy the Lamborghini. You know,
for sure.
Like if you're a true fan of that, like there are a couple of things that I like that I'm like, you know, I only have this because I love it. I want to know every detail about it, you know.
For sure. It's a passion.
Yeah, passion over flash. Yeah. I think that's cool.
That's awesome. That's great.
But some of those passions cost a lot of money. So not that I do any of this stuff. I'm actually still pretty simple, man. You know, I've been training at night in jiu-jitsu for the last 35 years and I still do it. So
that's great.
You know,
that's
do some yoga during the day. That in the middle, you know, I fill in the blanks with
that's great.
Scale products. Yeah.
That's great. That's exactly actually what I want to ask about, because when we met last time, you was an example of, I'm like, man, you're trying to be like Phil, but Phil, he is already still working, you know, like personally, I have a goal to be in a financial free case situation, right? And I'm willing to do what it takes. So I'm learning from...
but you actually are.
I appreciate that.
No, you just don't know it.
I think...
Yeah, it's just keeping your expenses, you know, affordable, and then you're living a good life, you're visiting. That's all it is anyway. So it's just maybe...
That's how it works for me,
Yeah, like you have to enjoy that journey too.
Right. So, and what I learned from you is I was thinking I have to get to that point so I can be free or I can relax, or how do I say it? Like I can be like doing nothing. And then I'm looking to Phil. Phil, he's like, bro, I have an appointment right here and I have to be at 4 out there and I have an appointment in Miami. And I'm like, man, this guy, he does have a lot more than you to do when he is already in the spot you're dreaming about. So how you don't have all this appointment on? This is how I felt. This is how I questioned to myself. I'm like, he does what he does with everything he have. So he doesn't have, like, I have the hunger and I don't have what I'm looking for yet. So I'm like, why I'm not doing what Phil doing? Why I'm not like all in motion how he is? So my question is, what the philosophy that you believe in that's keep you working and pushing forward all this hard and with the hunger after when you are here already?
So we'll talk about like Miami trip. We spent an hour together in a car.
In general, in lifestyle, I see like you always in motion. You always not working, doing something, because I don't believe as an entrepreneur, you're not working. You're just making things happen.
Yeah. I mean, I try to utilize time correctly. You know what I mean? Like I said, I try to be resourceful with resources, you know, so that's the most scarce resource that we have is time, you know? So projects that I have fun with now, like my first business, I had to do it. I had to make it right. I had to make it successful, you know, or I wouldn't eat or be able to buy a car or live a family life, you know what I mean? And I have the luxury now, like something like this, that's just like from my heart. I want to make sure that we have a nice product for martial arts. And at the same time, it's good for everyone else, you know?
All right.
But if I brought a product to market that wasn't as healthy, that I feel like a sellout, that was just for money, you know what I mean? So I can do it and introduce it. Now, like, the whole world is a little bit more focused on health these days instead of just the fast, easy thing. So health products are actually doing better, but I waited a little bit longer. So you go 5 years back, someone would have chose a Red Bull over a Tatsu tea. But now people are making different choices. So they're going to like a little bit healthier route.
For sure.
So my point is, I went a little bit slower because I didn't have to go fast. I didn't have to make it work right away. And it's actually like in a time right now, which, you know, we have more viability in the market.
And health, like I think the awareness on health is also getting so high.
That's what I mean.
Right, that's amazing.
Yeah, whereas I started this 5 years ago, I don't think it was as, people were as conscious.
They're not ready.
Right.
Yeah, I think everybody is not ready now.
But that's my point. So I have a luxury though of going slower with another product. Whereas in the beginning I had every single day, but I didn't have, you know, the family wasn't there.
Okay.
I was just, you know, in a constant state of like, you know, hustling. And that's good at a certain age, man. I'm 47. You know, I just had like I was telling you, it was like a 3.5 year like hustle to bring my stuff that I originally built back to life after, you know, our slight pause in the world.
Right. So what does, like, this is one of the difficulty that I think everybody used, but the result was different. Like everybody get into COVID, but they get out of COVID different. They came out with no marriage, some of them with no business, some of them with no both.
Yeah.
So for you to keep it up in the last challenge, I think was what the solution that you was focusing on, or the idea that's
how to get out. Like I said, it was literally day to day, you know. A lot of the positions that I wanted to create for each of these companies, I couldn't afford with the company, you know, so I had to get in there, I had to do it, you know. It was a lot more doing than hiring, you know, and it took up a lot of time. I had, you know, you know, I didn't sleep that much for 3 years. I just had to get things done, you know. All right. And as of the first of this year, we're pretty good, you know. Hiring a bunch of people. Yeah, I'm happy too.
I'm grateful. I'm really proud of everything. I mean, I see everything. I felt even the energy downstairs. I mean, it looks like an old school place. It looks like so many people sweat on that place, and I feel like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right, it's different from Basel or any other gym. The energy is different. So I really appreciate that, and thank you for your time. You know, here with with this trip, actually moving around with this program, just to bring the knowledge to people who really need it today.
Right.
There is a mindset knowledge when people can change life, and from your entrepreneur perspective and experience, we also think, because we're working with the Global Business Network today, and they are, as you know, they are the sponsor of this trip. So they are actually a company that pays in Abu Dhabi. They are a networking company. So they do provide online services today to people. And a lot of actually exactly what you said, put the expenses down. And this is what they do. They have a discount on the flights, on hotels, on taxi, on renting cars. They also have a 50% on education as courses. Wow. We all learning today. And the really great part about it, what today is available for everybody, they have a new coin for 1 cent only. So we know about how the Bitcoin and how a lot of coins journey start from zero, and they got to a point in a year or two. So I really believe, because I have been joined this company, and I believe in the coins. I think I saw so much people, to be honest, they have been profitable a lot with the coin. I wish I did something with the Bitcoin, and I was scared because I have zero knowledge. Today, I believe, as you say, today people start to become more ready to understand, especially today, like with China and Russia have no, like they're not going to treat dollar no more. I think this kind of the currency, the online currency, taken over. So what do you believe, or what do you think about crypto in general, or about?
Honestly, man, I don't know that much about it. I haven't really dipped into that one yet, but I do see currency obviously at some point globally going, you know, full digital. Makes sense.
Right.
The how, I don't know.
Right. So do you believe in investment or in working? Like the source or the income could be better by investing money or by working for money?
I think it's going to be a combo, honestly, with AI and things that are happening these days. I think there's going to be, we're going to find a balance between.
Right. So as a entrepreneur, the more the profit of investing is, because when you care about the freedom and the time, do you think that investing could serve as an entrepreneur more than working? Because investing could generate the cash flow.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
like I would say the majority of my most successful friends they're just investors now. They're not.
So they don't
work.
invest money. Yeah. Because actually,
money works for them.
Right. And that's actually something I wasn't aware about. I was just thinking how hard I can work. And then when I seen those people, they just go harder in investment. And that's the goal. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. It's a great place here. You guys also, thank you so much for spending this time with us. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for being here, hoping that you get exactly what you're looking for. I believe everybody can, and I believe you can as well. The only thing you need is just to take the first step. Know what you really want and know why you want it. Know what you do and why you're doing it, and you will always find a way. I mean, God will never put you in a situation you cannot afford, and no way to have a dream that you cannot achieve. So just do it today. Do what you have to do, and remember that God first, and I will see you at the top.